Dear human being, beloved soul, I welcome you to my podcast series, Conversations with the Universe. After a near-death experience, my perception of our human existence changed profoundly. I became more sensitive, with all our known senses. I feel more intensely, see people with different eyes, and often take a different perspective on life and our challenges. In my books, I share these altered perspectives and all the knowledge that has flowed through me since my near death and thus record it. For all those who are searching for something more, for the meaning of our existence here on Mother Earth. And it is now a great pleasure for me to share this knowledge with you in this way as a supplement to my books. This season I am dedicating myself to my very first work, the basics of being. I wish you many wonderful insights on your path. Thank you. Love.
Everything is in everything. Everything is connected. To help you better understand these short, simple sentences, here is a picture. You know the sea. The water is the habitat of many, many plants and animals. It forms a self-contained system of the death and development of organisms and plants. At the same time, the element of water is perfect as a metaphor to illustrate how other elements are always interconnected. But we see it most clearly with our physical senses in water. You probably know that information travels in waves in water, and perhaps you also know that whales communicate over many thousands of kilometers via the element of water. But ships and other noises can also be heard far away on the other side of the world, and you are probably familiar with the Gulf Stream, which keeps the ocean system alive like a circulatory system. Due to the laws of this closed ocean system, you can experience how an impulse that is released into the sea on one side will certainly appear somewhere else at some point. And so it is with everything. It is the same with all elements of matter and the whole cosmos. Spiritual and material, gross and subtle, everything is interconnected in the sea of the cosmos. The essence of all being is the sea of energies. Like the colorful variety of fish and plants in the sea, we humans are an expression of all the energies. All being in its infinite variety of different forms is only another form of expression of one and the same source. As in a sea of energies, everything is therefore always connected with everything else in action and reaction. We are all part of this one energy and eternally connected to it. The whole cosmos, our whole universe, is such a sea, and our galaxy is a coral reef in this sea. The earth is part of this reef, and all living beings on it inhabit this part of the reef, which in no way follows independent laws, but is embedded in the sea of the cosmos. In the next instance of this thought, it must be clear that you too are part of something much bigger, are in it and with it, are allowed to be. Being part of something so big is beautiful, but above all, it brings with it an incredible responsibility, because, as already mentioned, the Earth is not just any independent planet. It is part of the sea of energies, part of the laws of the universe, and so we are all part of it, every single one of us. You are a part of this great whole. Do you realize what that means? Be aware of it. Being part of something means, above all, not being separate from it, and therefore everything you think, feel, do, or don't do is in immediate action with the whole universe, and this is in action with you and your being. Be aware. You perceive yourself as an independent individual who can decide on free will. But the feeling that you therefore have nothing to do with anyone is an illusion. Free will also follows laws and is not omnipotent. Be aware. Everything, really everything, that you think and do as a result has an echo, in this world and in all other worlds. A first step towards understanding this better is to become aware of these things. Be aware. You are part of these cosmos sea energies. You are embedded in this sea and connected to everything. Back to the example of the sea. When once again hundreds of dolphins in Norway have their fins cut off for the sake of a ritual, all the animals in the sea hear this pain, and it does something to them. It influences them. It scatters impulses that provoke reactions. What kind of echo do you think it makes when people kill each other? What kind of echo do you think it makes when they kill countless animals for no reason? What kind of echo do you think it makes when they rob the earth's raw materials without a second thought and without taking nature into consideration? What kind of echo do you think it makes when people live their lives unconsciously instead of consciously, awake and responsibly loving? What kind of echo do you think it makes when an entire human race thinks, feels, acts, and above all mistreats? And it is the same everywhere. If you do something bad to a person, it does something to them, and in the next instance, to all of us. Every cruelty, every disrespectful word, every action, every impulse is answered in the cosmos. And vice versa. If your impulses are pure and full of love, this love is distributed in the sea of energies. No matter which direction you take, your decision will have an effect on this cycle. I would even go so far as to say that your decision, and consequently your actions, even influence life on other planets, because you are also connected to them via this sea of energies. The law of action and reaction is immutable. It will not stop at people's unconsciousness.
So let us summarize.
How true? How true? Man is truly fallen. From the awareness that he is in close connection with everything that is. Fallen out and thus into unconsciousness. And consequently fallen out of the heart. Fallen down to the deep level of the ego. Fallen out of the balance of animal and God into an illusion. Thank you for listening. Carpe Vitam.